I'm so happy I have a cabinet. It was my hope that I could show you Casein painting on a cabinet, and one has come my way. I looked, well, you know what a lot of the furniture is these days. It's not solid wood. If it's pressboard, don't touch it. You need to be working on solid wood. And here is an honest little cupboard that was available for $51 at Habitat for Humanity. It's got just what we want to do Biedermeier. This cupboard is probably from the 1950s, and it's an imitation washstand. It obviously we weren't using them back then. It's got a problem here. You can see there's a big knot that found itself into what is really the presentation panel of the washstand. So that means that we will have to design something that covers that knot and covers that one. Here are some good features. This drawer, well, it's small, I admit, but it's fitted into the frame. It doesn't have a front piece that fits across the seam. The cabinet maker was then forced to fit the drawers well. We've got 3 small ones, 1 large one at the top. It's in quite good condition. Frequently you'll see the inside of a drawer that's really been beaten up, and this one has not. There's no lock anymore. The lock is gone, so we won't have a key, but we'll put a little escutcheon here, a little fancy or plain black area around it to set it off. The surface has got problems. Ooh, we've got some big slices here. Somebody really cracked into it there. We'll have to sand that down. We're going to start with 100 grit, and we need to figure out what the cabinet needs to bring it up to really a lovely quality. This is, well, we've got some more things over here too. Look. Yeah, look at that. That's okay. We'll take care of that. So we're going to start with 100 grit, and let's take a, oh, here's something I love about it. Look at this, just honest wood. This is not factory made. Look at the door handle. Isn't this, see if we can see this. Isn't this sweet? Look at this. Somebody made this. I love this cupboard. Let's see how we can elevate it like we did with the boxes. Disguise its blemishes and bring it up to just something really pretty. This is actually an imitation washstand. Would have not been something that you needed in the 50s. We were using bathrooms at the time, no more urns and ewers and stuff. This fits back here, and it's a little bit precarious how it fits there, but also this molding is quite heavy for such a small cabinet. So we'll have to figure out how to reduce the impact of it. I've already got an idea. If you look at how this back piece attaches, you'll see that the cabinet will not sit flush to the wall without that back piece. It attaches right there. So we are going to use it, but we're going to figure out how to, number one, make it the centerpiece. How could you possibly live without this beautiful back to your washstand, since it is so beautiful in the decoration? And then the fact that it's a little bit heavy and big for such a small cabinet will be entirely forgiven. So that's our assignment, painting a cabinet. Here's our inspiration. This is Casein painting. This is a cabinet from the late 1600s. It was done with chablons, which are stencils, and there was a lighter ground put down, and the black work was put on top of it. This is an imitation, actually, of much more expensive ivory inlay. I'll show you where this is from. Ostschweizer Bauernmalerei. I've lost the cover. I don't want to put it back with Scotch tape. It'll lose color. Obviously, they're featuring Baroque here on the cover, but we want to look at the more austere styles, which will lead us into the present. So this has always been a favorite of mine. It doesn't have a date, but very, very, whoever cut these stencils is in heaven now. But it's related to Biedermeier, the period from 1815 to 1848, when people were imitating Egyptian. They were putting ivory and ebony inlay into wood. They liked a nice brown fruit wood, very much like the color of this cabinet here that we're looking at. You can see the similarity in the color. This has already been varnished, and according to our other source, we'll look at more of these beauties later. Thank you, Gut und Dünenberger. Isabel O'Neill, The Art of the Painted Finish for Furniture and Decoration. Isabel O'Neill kept a studio in New York. Faux finishes, everything you could want. She has a whole chapter on how to get a piece of furniture that is already varnished, ready for refinishing. And she recommends that you start with, oh, here's a spot too. It looks like we've got a seam here between, we got two laminated pieces, and this will have to get flat. That's going to come up light then. She recommends 100 grit sandpaper. Give it a good, oh, actually, she washes it first with alcohol. So I'm going to get some alcohol and we'll give this a wash. It looks like we've got some dirt here. Make sure there's nothing loose on it. And then we'll talk about taking some 100 grit to it. Don't want to lose my beautiful color because it's part of the Biedermeier look. This is a step I've never done before. I have some 99% alcohol. I don't know why I ever bought this. Probably because I knew I would be washing cabinets. So I have mixed it maybe 30%. This is then 2/3 water. And we're going to give this guy a wash. This is a step I have never done before. Are we loosening anything? Ooh, I can see a lot of scratch. Actually, what you're doing in all of these early stages is getting to know your piece. Because the trick with art is, if you're going to do something, do it. And if you're not going to do it, don't do it. And with painted furniture, you really need to be familiar. Ah, look, those spots are coming off. You really need to be familiar with what you're starting with. Looks to me like, what in the world is that? We've got some actual damage here. Sandpaper will take it. I don't want it to get too wet. We got dust here and in here. It's interesting to see how they attached this elaborate molding. Big nails. Big nails. Here's the back of it. See what I mean by an honest cabinet? There's no fake wood. It's made out of wood. It is what it looks like. I'm thinking about maybe putting a black stripe up here. Biedermeier furniture is very simple. That's part of the style. So we're not going to be putting flowers. Well, it could have flowers, but they would be in a vignette, not strewn, typically not strewn around the wood. Here's how the drawers are put together. This is the bottom drawer. It has some mean scratches in it. Also, the knob has got some scratches on it. We'll see if the 100 grit sandpaper will even those out. This appears to be pegged, but I'm suspicious because this wasn't the pegging time of cabinet making. This appears also to be pegged. I wonder if it is actually screws that have filler on top of them. I shouldn't be so Unbelieving. The drawers are pegged, except that, look, it doesn't look like, see, the pegs would split the wood. The direction doesn't match. I'm suspecting that this is something metal that has been filled to make it look like pegs. Here's the important stuff. These are the 3 screws that held the back up on this cupboard. I'm now taking, ooh, I see the damage. There's my screwdriver. I'm now taking the knobs off of the drawers, and they're oak. They don't actually match. They're well worn, but I think we're just going to finish them up the way they are because the essence of Biedermeier is simplicity. The real trick is they go in here, and when this is done, you know what? I'm even going to go one on top of that. When this is all done, we won't have to worry about where any of our fittings are, where the knobs are, where the screws are that held the back on. This will be taped to the inside of the cupboard. All right, that was very light sanding indeed, but I think we're going to take it easy on this cupboard and just leave our scratches rather than trying to dig into them. It looks like I did major damage to the finish with that 100 grit sandpaper, but once I wet it, you can see that the color is still perfect. So we've got some damage from the knobs here. We'll see what we can get off and still keep our color intact. This is going to be light sanding with 100 grit. This is the door, and I'm bemoaning the fact that in trying to just give it an honest sanding of 100 grit and 220, that I lightened up areas where the grain was harder and the original maple stain that was on this cupboard did not soak in as well to the wood, and so it sanded off to a very light color almost immediately. Here especially, we've got waves in the Pacific going on. We're not worried about this because this particular piece, which covers the seam between the front door and the panel where the drawers are installed, this will be black. This is going to be made out of ebony. This handle stays original, but I was bemoaning the fact that this maple stain is so... Oh, there's another thing. I don't know if you can see this. There's a business like this going on through this wood, and I thought those are tooling errors that I was unable... This has been machined, and finally I realized that I think it's in the wood. There's black foolishness. Some kid drew on this. I don't think so. Oh, I've got a drip from the varnish there that I need to correct yet. So I got a real piece of Biedermeier furniture to show you the actual color of the fruitwood veneer. This is a mirror that I brought back with me from Europe. Joke's on me. Is that close enough for you? I put some paper over the mirror so you wouldn't look at so much shine. This has imitation ebony inlay done probably in India ink. This is a piece that I used to live in Berlin. This is probably a piece that came over the wall in a courier van of some Eastern embassy that could get across the border without being searched. That's how antiques were making it from Eastern Europe over to Berlin for sale. This is a warmer, just lighter, simpler. This is also crud upon it. Okay, don't. But I think we're not with this piece, but the rest of it, I think we're pretty close, and I'm very delighted. We're gonna do black trim, and I think we may have tulips here. It's April, and the tulips are blooming, So we'll see what we do, but the decor is going to be very asymmetrical, which will make this a modern piece. If it were truly 19th century, it would have a vase, and the vase would have flowers, and everything would be symmetrical, but not, yes, but symmetrical. That's what they very much liked. We're not doing that. We're going to go for modern here. Our color is okay. It's not the same. It's not quite as yellow, but I have a yellow shellac, an amber shellac that hasn't been bleached, and that's what we're going to put on this. I've been reading up on how to get a good shellac finish.